Thank you, Lucia, for your lovely introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am honoured to be invited to speak here today at PCP Wales's first ever conference. I know we're all really grateful for everything they've done, raising awareness, and more importantly, taking action to do their best to protect the innocence of children. I hope you will all join me in giving them a very well-deserved round of applause. As Lucia said, my name's Rebecca Manning, and I am here today with a few other ladies to represent our group, Too Much Too Young, UK Parents Against RSE in Schools. We formed in 2022 after my friend's daughter brought home some work from school she considered most inappropriate for a young girl, and my friend posted about it on Facebook. Many parents joined in on the post with stories of similar things happening with their children. It became clear there was a problem, and the more we looked, the worse it seemed. I was aware that a new RSE curriculum was in the works, as I had been ready to take part in the parent consultation at my son's primary school. This didn't actually happen because COVID lockdowns came and schools closed. I don't believe parents in the UK were consulted or informed properly before the curriculum was rubber stamped and it was rolled out to our children. It was already in action when my son went back to school post-lockdowns. Many of us found the subjects covered to be wholly inappropriate for the age of the children they were being given to. So we decided to create a Facebook group to raise awareness, as many parents were as yet unaware of the graphic nature of some parts of the new RSE curriculum. We now have over 6,500 members from all walks of life and from all across the UK, helping each other navigate what is best to do when what your children are being taught at school contradicts your family's beliefs, be they religious or otherwise, or your children are given information that you would be happy with at some point but feel that your child isn't old enough for yet. It wasn't long before we discovered PCP Wales and were blown away by the work they were doing, and so we began supporting them at their rallies. We've been working alongside them for a few years now, helping parents to understand the RSE curriculum and see beneath the palatable top layer of the way it is presented. Because at a quick glance, it can seem that it's truly for the good of children. You need to scratch the surface a bit to see the potential harm. Many of us in this room, who have not only scratched the surface but dug right down in there, are honestly horrified at where we believe this could all lead, and this is why we speak up now. I've never been a political person or an activist. Public speaking is not my day job by any means, although I must admit I have learned to use a mic through my work. However, this is a bit of a change for me from scream if you want to go faster, and no, I'm not doing my fairground mic voice. I am very privileged to have been born into our country's wonderful showman community and have spent my life serving you and your children as you enjoy days out at outdoor events, festivals and fairgrounds across the country. For those that are unaware, showmen are a community of about 20,000 people in the UK who have managed, in this ever-changing world we've been living in, to hang on to many traditional values because of our smaller community in a community that means we all know each other or know of each other. Reputations stick of any type, and this as a way of keeping you on a good moral path. I expect many communities in the country would have been like it once upon a time, and I hope many still are. As a community, we are strongly opposed to this new form of RSE. Being a showman has given me a perspective that's a bit different to the usual. Firstly, I can observe the effects that society and the sex education we've had so far in schools have had on the wider population compared to our children, whom we have mostly withdrawn from these lessons completely, up until recent times when it's all changed. Showmen are very private people when it comes to personal matters. The sex education that had been given in schools even before it got worse goes against everything we believe in. Our children are brought up with very high moral standards and respect. Reproduction of males and females is not discussed with our children until we feel the time is right. We like our children to remain children for as long as possible. We firmly believe that the parents are the only people that will know when their individual child will be ready to know about these things. In our community, the mother is usually the main person to have these discussions with girls. This wouldn't usually happen in front of any males, and the father with the boys, privately also. We rarely have children out of wedlock. We have long and successful marriages, low divorce rates, very few teenage mums, and no abandoned children. We are confident that our way of safeguarding our children until adulthood works, as it's worked for many generations before us. We certainly do not feel that children need to be taught about sex or sexualities to be kind and considerate of those around them, or that school teachers have automatic rights because of their profession to raise discussions with our children that in any other setting with any other adult would likely be illegal. Because of my industry, I have been around the nation's children all my working life. Since I married at 22, my husband and I have toured our vintage fairground rides around the country at large outdoor events. Children are my customers, and for over 30 years I have served and observed them at many of the same events that we attended in our early marriage. I serve people from all demographics and all backgrounds. I don't like the changes that I am seeing in our country's children. Compared to 20 years ago, they are yet less agile, struggling to jump into swing seats, less happy. There are children crying and having meltdowns everywhere. Many children have additional needs, more and more each year. The newest development is children are conditioned to use card payment, which I find very scary. They also can't add up cash or work out change anymore, even at secondary level. A terribly sad development is the amount of children I am seeing with crisscross scars on their arms and upper legs from self-harm. This is something I never used to see before the last couple of years, and I hope fervently to stop seeing as soon as possible. Children have no awareness of their own surroundings or safety anymore, no common sense. I'll explain it like this. 20 years ago, a showman took a selection of rides to a different country, outside of Europe, to operate. I'm naming no countries so as not to cause offence. When he got there, he was told he would have to fence all his rides in with a gate. He inquired why, as he had never needed to do it here. He was told, the people here are quite stupid and they run into moving things. He was shocked. Customers here, even children at the time, had the sense not to run into moving things. Now here we are, only 20 years later, and we have to fence in all the rides. I'm not the only one in my industry seeing this. Many of us are saying the same thing. My friend Zoe, who is here with me today, runs a hooker duck stall and has done so for many years. What she said to me sums it up. People used to know how to hook ducks. Let's be fair, it's not overly complicated. Not anymore. It seems full instructions are now needed, as well as self-control from Zoe, as she keeps the sarcasm out of her offered reply, well, you hook a duck. Obviously, I'm generalising, and there are lovely, sensible children all over the country, but it's the trend I'm seeing, and I don't like it one bit. I'm not laying all of this at the door of schools by any means. We all realise by now that it's much bigger than that. But it is my view that schools are failing on an enormous scale in their duty to safeguard the children we entrust to their care. It's very clear to me that the information overload that today's child is subjected to is damaging to them. Is it possible that all the focus on mental health that today's child gets could be causing them to have bad mental health? I don't need statistics or surveys to see the changes. I can see them with my own two eyes. As I said at the beginning, I'm not a political person, never felt the need to protest anything before. I've seen lots of positive changes during my life: acceptance of gay relationships, greater equality between the sexes, attempts to stamp out racism. Progress that I have seen as very good in lots of areas, but not all things presented to us as progress take us forwards. Some take us backwards to a place I don't want to go. I don't want a world where children are treated as mini adults, expected to make sensible decisions. I definitely don't want a world where parents are not allowed to protect their own children from anything they consider could harm them. Or a world where children have sexual rights or are believed to be sexual from birth, because that's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard. Childhood innocence needs protection from not only unsuitable sexual material or gender ideology, but also from all the problems in the world that they're not even yet able to do anything about. Teach them to be kind and courteous, pick up their litter, and keep themselves and their environment clean and tidy. That's enough for a child. The rest can come later. We're adults long enough. Thank you. If you want to speak to us, we're over there at our little stalls, so we've got some books and things.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. That was very insightful. Brilliant. Thank you.